Hi kids! Thanks for tuning in. On today's very special episode, we're going to be discussing psychedelics, more specifically LSD, aka acid. What acid is like a little tab. You just like put it underneath your tongue, you let it sit there for a bit, let it marinate so you can really soak it up. And here's just a tip. When you're taking a psychedelic or anything, kind of like in my last video what I said about when you're smoking weed for the first time, but times that by 100 because psychedelics are something that you don't want to really fuck with. You want to be in the right mindset, you want to be with the right people, in the right place. It's very, very important that you have those three things good to go. The first and only time I ever took any kind of psychedelic drug, it was LSD, and it was almost a year ago, last May. I never thought I would ever take a psychedelic because I just was like, I don't like the idea of something messing with my head like that. It sounded really scary to me. So I feel like I would never come back from that trip. If you live in like a city or something, you see the people on the street rocking, like talking to themselves, and they've done one too many. Anyway, I thought that was gonna be me. One day, my boyfriend obtained acid from his friend. His friend gave it to him, which sounds sketchy, but that's what happened. We decided that we were going to take it on a particular Saturday. We were actually supposed to hang out that night and then do it the next day. All of a sudden he messages me and says,
I don't really want to hang out tonight. I want to be alone and work on my music.
He decided to go ahead and do it without me. I was so mad at him that I was being such a bitch. I was just like, I'm not coming over anymore. Like, you can just enjoy it by yourself. Like, fuck off, basically. And I was kind of wanting to make him have like a little bit of a bad trip just because he just ruined all of our plans for the entire weekend. And he was like,
please come over, I'm sorry. I thought it'd be fun to take it by myself, but now I realize it would have been more fun with you here, and I'm sorry.
And I was like, well, too late. But of course I wound up going over because that's the kind of person I am. I saw that he was pretty much normal. Like, he was seeing things, but he wasn't acting crazy. He wasn't like out of his mind. Like, that's what I thought it was gonna be, which is part of the reason why I really didn't want to go over. Because I was like, he's gonna be like tripping on acid. That's gonna be no fun for me to like sit there and babysit him. I had no idea what it really was about. The next day, it's about 5 or 6 o'clock. We're just like hanging out in his room. I'm actually playing Bratz Rock Angels on his PS2 because he just had that. So of course, that was my shit when I was a kid. I was doing the makeup, we were listening to the music, I was going to England. It was a good time. And he says, hey, I still have that extra tab for you. And I told Corey, I was like, that's his name, Corey. I was like, I'm not gonna do acid by myself. You ruined it for me. Thanks a lot, jerk. Bye. Basically, I wound up taking acid by myself. At 6 o'clock, I just put it under my tongue. At this point, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that I had basically swore I would never do psychedelics. I saw that he was normal and I saw that he was fine, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it, like, now or never. And it was a beautiful day, so I was really just feeling it. I knew if I thought about it too much, I wouldn't want to do it anymore, so I just like on a whim did it. I didn't start really feeling it until about 7:15, 7:30, because it was almost an hour and a half. And I decided that I want to go for a walk and then end up at the beach. On my way there, he was like, okay, you can probably spit the tab out now. And I was like, what do you mean? Just like spit it out anywhere? Because I was like surprised because obviously acid is fucking felony. So I was like, I just like spit it out anywhere. What if they like trace it back to me? But they don't give a shit. I just spit it out on the ground for somebody to find. We go to the beach and that's when it really hit me in the most amazing way ever. He lives on the North Shore, so you can see clear across to Connecticut when you're sitting on the beach. It was so beautiful because you could see all the lights. All of a sudden, a fireworks show is going on. I don't know why. It wasn't a holiday, it was May, like late May. There's just a fireworks show going on, and I thought it was the most magical thing. It was really nice to look at, and I was sitting there like, wow, look at that fireworks show over there. The beach is down here, and the road is up here, so you have to like walk down steps, and it kind of was like a cliff, like a big giant sand dune. On the cliffs, the light was like shifting, but at this point it had gotten pretty foggy actually. Like all this fog rolled in out of nowhere. Water was sparkling, and when the water would come in and then it'd come out, it was like the shore was breathing. Like it was like coming up and going down, and there's a lot of people there too, and I wanted to talk to everyone, and I was like, Corey, I want to say hi to everyone. He's like, no, like you're not doing that. Like you're tripping on LSD right now. It's not, no. I swear I could see the stars, but there weren't any out that night because it was so cloudy, but like the sky was sparkling. Everything was pretty alive. Like I had this heightened sense of that everything was like alive, And I'm sitting there like feeling the sand in my hands, and he like made a joke about me like doing the sand because I was just like, whoa, this feels so cool. And I felt really like small on this planet. Like I was like, whoa, I'm just like on this giant rock. Oh my god, my dad just walked by. He scared the shit out of me. I'm just like on this planet spinning through time and space. And I felt really small and insignificant, and it was just really cool how everything was just really heightened and everything was sparkling, and yeah, it was pretty cool. But then it got really dark and late and the beach pretty much emptied out, so we decided to leave. Oh, and that was the night, yes. Okay. The beach that we go to is a private beach, so you have to pay $200 every summer if you want to use it. Before the summer, like the summer season, it's normally unlocked, and normally anyone can just go into it. After about 7 o'clock, they would leave it unlocked for the public, and during the off season, it was always unlocked. For some reason, lately, they haven't been doing that. Like last summer, it was continuously locked, even starting in May. And probably this summer it's going to be locked all the time too. You know, greedy rich people, whatever. And when we left, it was locked. And there's other ways to get out, but they make it incredibly hard for you to leave. There used to be these old steps that got destroyed one year, so they made like new wooden ones, but the old ones are still kind of there. Like they're even more destroyed now than ever, but you can like climb up them. They like put up a fence, but you know, a lot of time hooligans will cut big holes in the fence, and they always repair it. They're probably repairing it every single night. Or you can climb underneath the fence, and that's what we had to do. But some genius put broken glass all underneath the fence, and you can tell that it was the town or whoever owned the beach, because this glass was perfectly crystal clear. It wasn't like crappy bottles or something, and the pile was about 2 inches thick, like 2 feet in like length, you know. So they purposefully put this glass underneath the fence, and they locked the door, and they repaired the fence, so if you wanted to leave, you had to cut yourself up on this glass. And I was really scared. I was like, what the fuck, who would do this? Like, that's horrible on any day, but especially when like you're on acid, I was just like, someone's out to get us. That's like a really shitty thing to do, you know, especially because we're on the beach still. Like they had to have seen us. We didn't walk far. We were right in front of the fucking gate. Anyway, we walk back. Corey is making me hysterically laugh the entire way back to his house, and we get to his house, and that's kind of when my trip changed, because the nice weather was gone, so I was stuck either being outside in the scary darkness, or I could go down to his room in the basement, and that idea scared me too. So I decided to stay in the backyard for a bit. That was like really scaring me, so I was like, let's go inside. And I had a pretty nice trip for the rest of the night. I mean, I was sitting on his bed talking and talking for hours. I was talking about how well, I'm not gonna get into it. Wasn't too off from how I normally think, because that's how I pretty much think on a daily basis anyway. And he had a blue fuzzy blanket that kind of looks like the ocean, and it was just moving all night. And he had these curtains that said like coffee and like cappuccino, like your typical like kitchen curtains, and they were just moving. Everything was moving all night, and by like 5 a.m. I was ready for it to just stop. I was like laying there like, please stop moving, like I need to rest. I didn't get any sleep until after I dropped him off at work at 7 o'clock, because he had work at 7 a.m. the next morning. I came back and I took a nice nap, and then I woke up feeling like garbage. I just felt, even the next day after that, I felt very off. I was kind of sad. I just felt very sad, I guess, because when you take LSD, you're on this great high, and everything's amazing, and everything is wonderful, and then you wake up the next day, and you're kind of just like, oh, like, back to life, here I am again. I don't know, it was weird, but it was a beautiful day. So after my nap, I woke up, I took a walk, I went to the beach, and I actually made a video that day of just like admiring the beach, and I'll link that down below. That was the day after I took acid, so that's why the video is like kind of weird and kind of just like strange, because I was just like in a weird mood. Overall, my experience was one that I will never forget. It was incredible, it was eye-opening. It was just really cool, and I really suggest that if you are thinking about doing it, just go ahead, and as long as it's good for you. Like, I definitely plan on doing them sometime in the future. I just don't know when or how or what, but it's gonna happen because it can't not happen again. Hopefully no one important sees this. Just kidding, I didn't actually, I made the story up. Just a reminder, everyone be safe, don't do it if you don't want to, yada yada yada, peer pressure, whatever the fuck. So thanks for watching. Okay, goodbye. Thanks for watching. Bye. See you. Okay, bye. I'm done.